Good morning and welcome to day 3 of the 50th Australian Hobie Cat Nationals. I'm here with Cam Weddell and Naomi Chiu, Hobie royalty, hailing from Port Melbourne. Been sailing the 16 together for how many years?
5 years. 5 years.
5 years now, and absolutely loving it. And here we are in sunny Vincentia. We're doing some interviews today because of the weather. The rain generally doesn't scare us away too much, but this morning, match report for us, Cam.
Well, there's a big rain cloud sitting over the top of us with very little breeze anywhere near us. And I think everyone's safely hunkered in, drinking coffees and having some bacon and egg sandwiches, which I can say are quite good.
So, how good? How many have you had?
I've had 2. Yep, that's a breakfast. Might go back for a third. See how we go.
Awesome, although I can probably recommend against that because aren't you sitting a little bit heavy, particularly given the light breeze of today?
Well, being the president, I've tried to influence things that we're not going out today, perhaps, and that we have a minimum wind rating of 15 knots for the last day tomorrow. That's my game plan.
Sounds like a great game plan. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I'm all for it. Cam forgot to have his bacon and egg sandwich yesterday, and we didn't get off the start line like we normally do. So it took a little bit of a warm-up. So I'm all for the bacon and egg rolls.
Like they normally do. So Cam and Gnome's starts are always one to watch. Very, very confidently coming through on port.
I don't know about that, Mads. We don't do too many port starts, I must admit. No, we're usually a bit safer than that. Gnomes doesn't like the stress of a port start. No, I haven't done too many of them in my time.
And in a fleet this big, we don't really want to be coming through on port with another 40 boats on starboard bearing down. So tell us about day 1. Day 1 was quite wild out there. We had some injuries, we had some broken boats. How did you guys fare?
Day 1 was a cracker. Oh, yeah. We came in hoping to get in the top half of the fleet. There's so many good names out there. So then when we did a really good race on the first race, we were like, all right, we're here. This is good. It's windy. It's what we like. So today's 2 knots out there is not what we like. So as Cam said, we're hoping to sit on the beach all day.
All day. The way the weather's holding up, I'm looking at the top of the trees now and I can see the tiniest bit of movement, but I think that's just the raindrops. So what about day 2, Cam? How did yesterday go?
Yesterday was a bit of a mixed bag. The first day we didn't really do much wrong. The first 2 races of yesterday we did everything wrong. We were last off the start in race 2 yesterday, which was took a little bit of emotional management for the team to get through. But we got out of there and got back into the middle of the fleet. But then the last 2 races, we were back on form and going the right way.
Going the right way is a really good start. I want to circle back to emotional management here. So, Gnomes, tell us about the emotional management of Cam on the boat, particularly when he hasn't had his egg and bacon roll.
You know, I was really surprised. He actually took it really well. When you're running last off the start line, there's not much you can do other than go forwards. It can't get much worse than that. So, you know, we just like, all right, well, here we are. We're just going to start picking boats off. And I have to say the quality of the mid-fleet is extraordinary because once we got to the middle of the fleet, we had trouble picking up any more boats, didn't we? We needed probably 2 more laps.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really, really tight front to middle of the fleet and it's anyone's game in the middle. It's you can be 5th, you can be 12th in a matter of half a leg.
But just going back to the management, Cam has been working on his Zen. And just sometimes I need a few words. I said something in the first day. It's just like, keep you cool or just let's go or something. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's right. I've got to remember to do that. And he was back on track and off we went. It was good.
Absolutely. Cam has been working really, really hard on his Zen in the last 12 months. That's been culminating in a significant 400-hour teaching course in Yoga Nidra. Tell us about your Yoga Nidra expertise.
Well, I've never certainly been known for my flexibility. Yoga, I'm actually booked in. I haven't started it yet. there's been a few delays with COVID and, lots of things out of my control. So, yeah, that's coming up. Yep.
It's coming up, excellent. So I'd like to talk about El Presidente here. I'm just hoping that that's not ruining that phone's not ruining the microphone, but I'm told we're all good. So, El Presidente, tell us your favourite Hobie sailing memory.
Well, there's a few. I mean, there's a few race wins and a few, beating the good people is always fun. Doesn't happen enough.
Happened yesterday.
It happened yesterday. It did, yes. Even with the third place race bibs on, which were putting a little bit of pressure on us. But look, it probably goes back to when I was younger and sailing without the weight of expectations with results. And sailing on Hobie 18s and steering my 16 for the first time ever at a Nationals was probably a massive memory for me. And it was actually where Gnomes won the Nationals with her previous sailing partner, Kiki. And I always kind of liked that kind of, that's where they were at the top of their game and I was just starting and right out in DFL.
So my game has come down, has it, since
No.
So, reading between the lines there, Cam, at that point you're on a trajectory up to the pointy end of the fleet. You see Gnomes sitting at the top with Keegs, and you say, I found my crew. Is that how it happened?
No, I went off the planet for about 10 years with kids. I did a few states here and there, and then we just bumped into each other one day, and he said, what are you doing? I said, not much. He said, do you want to go sailing? I said, okay, let's do it. And the Nationals are at my home club at Summers, where I also sail. It's like, well, I'll be there anyway. Let's go sailing. And we had a good time.
Yep.
Yeah, magic. So Port Melbourne, Summers, see you guys down at Torquay a bit, particularly for the Australia Day Regatta. That's always a great time. Would love to see all the Hobie sailors come down to Torquay if they're around then at that time. It's always a great marathon on first day towards sort of Point Addis, Anglesey, and then day 2 we've got some short course racing. But today we're dressed in our Melbourne blacks. So is there any particular reason for the really morose sort of...
Oh, hang on a tick. Today's wear your sail colour day today.
Oh no, I got black on black.
So they're wearing their sail colours today.
Sail colours. That's it. And
They've got some really just the epitome of the Hobie sails. The beautiful rainbow white.
But the black is just Melbourne cool.
The black is just Melbourne, Brunswick, Fitzroy cool. Yep.
City.
Yep. Inner city. Yeah. Yep. Yep. So light winds today. If we do go out, which El Presidente is begging Mr. Hooper to can. What would be your tips to the up-and-comer 16s about rigging or tension or any really light winds, mostly flat water? There might be a little bit of swell beyond the safety of the little cove in here. What would be your rigging tips, Cam?
Oh, look, rigging tips for this kind of wind is not sheeting too tight. Number one, always don't sheet too tight. Make sure you've got good flow between the jib and that the main leech isn't overdone, because if you do that, you won't go anywhere.
Excellent tip. Absolutely. It's really important to keep that downhaul off a little bit, the outhaul. You want a nice big pocket in there and absolutely not oversheeting. You want a bit of about a hand on the jib car, a little bit further in the light wind.
I'll even let my jib sheet off a bit. Yep. Just to make it follow them. Just match it with the main.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep. Oh, and I won't move.
Absolutely. Don't move.
Like a gazelle.
Smooth like a snake, rolling around on the tramp. Tell us about rolling around on the tramp, Cam. Are you any good at that?
No, look, sometimes I'm a little bit of a klutz, a little bit uncoordinated. Have trouble getting in from wire. But, particularly new boats, they're quite slippery. That can be hard, but after a little while, that sort of, that works itself out. So sometimes, yes.
Excellent. That's another way the yoga practice will really improve your sailing and zen and just all-round improving Cam. Campbell Weddell is on the up. Thank you very much for your time, you two. I will cut you loose. I'm very, very appreciative of your time, as is the TV. Thanks for letting me take the mickey out of you, mostly Cam, but Gnomes, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
And Cam. Yeah.
Indeed, Mads. Always good for a chinwag. Always good. Thank you.